Hi everyone, it's Nell with Little Yellow House Crafts. I'm sorry it's been a few weeks, but I figured it was time for a WIP update. It's been a while since I've done a WIP. I think last time I showed you was my first video, which was a couple months ago now. First of all, I want to just say I don't know if this lighting is good or not. This is the first time I'm trying to film at night, and so I have my lamp set up in a really funny way, and hopefully you'll be able to see things. The colors look pretty accurate to me, so hopefully it's not too bad, but I just wanted to say hi, and here we go. Let me show you what I've been working on. First, I will show you my Harry Potter sampler, and I have not worked on this for about a month and a half now. I put it away because I really needed to focus on my son's stocking, because I am working to a deadline there. I'm trying to get it done in time for Christmas, so I put Harry Potter away. But before I put it away, I got a lot done on this. This was really addicting to stitch on, and I'm just over 1/3 of the way done. So last time you saw it in my first video, I had just done, I had just done kind of up to about here. I was working on the banners, and I don't think I had done Harry, Ron, and Hermione yet. But now, gotten all the way to there. You see it? So, making some good progress. I've done some color changes. These flames here, well, I guess they're flames. I don't know what they are. I changed them to a copper color. They were originally gold because I thought they kind of looked like flames. So I changed those to the copper metallic. I don't know if you can tell. There you go. That's copper metallic. And then on the chest pieces, I replaced the grays in the picture with some of my metallics, my dark metallic and then my silver. I think that's all I changed. I didn't change a whole lot. Like I said, this is really addicting to stitch on. I'm really enjoying it, but I had to put it away to focus on my stocking for my son, but it'll be fun when I finish that and I can pull Harry back out again. I think Harry is put away until my stocking is done, so it might be 2016 before I pull that out again. But I've gotten some good progress on it, so I'm glad with that. I'm happy with that. Next, I will show you my stocking, my son's stocking. So I finished the top portion. There's his name, Henry, and I've decided to backstitch this one as I go, so that it's not so overwhelming at the end. So I've backstitched the reindeer to about here, and that's as far as I've backstitched, and that's my progress. Got a thread hanging there. Sorry. Get that out of the way. So it's coming along slowly. You will see in a moment, I had to put this one away. I just was having trouble focusing on it, and I needed something to distract myself. So I did two small things, and I will show you what they are, and finished them actually. And so it's time to put this one back on the frame and keep going. But I'm happy with it. I think it's really beautiful. And yeah, if I can keep up the pace, I think I'll get it done in time for Christmas. Last year I did my older son's in about 2.5 months, and that was kind of intense. And I started this one a lot sooner to try and avoid that, because I was really burnt out on that stocking by the time it was done, but I got it done like 2 days before Christmas, so I think I'll get this one done. But like I said, I was kind of getting burnt out on it, and I decided I needed to do something else. Just put it away for a while and do something else. And so I have a small finish, and I've already shown this on Facebook on Cross Stitch and Discuss, but I went ahead and I did Country Cottage Needleworks Red, White, and Bloom, and I finished it. So here you go. And I mentioned there on the Facebook page that I did this with my own DMC conversions. I didn't really use the conversions they provided because I wanted to stitch from stash. Essentially, I wanted to use colors I already had. So if you're curious and want to do this one and want to know what I used, I can reply and let you know, but I just used DMC replacements. I can't think off the top of my head any of them. sorry. But I think it turned out really nice. I really like the colors. I think it's beautiful. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with it yet. This one is small enough that I might frame it. Typically, I make my finishes into wall hangings, and that's for a couple of reasons. First of all, price. It's much less expensive to make them into wall hangings than to go get them framed. Second of all, I'm a sewer. I have a sewing machine and I enjoy sewing, and I can make my own wall hangings, and so that's the second reason. And then the third reason is because you get to choose a cute fabric that coordinates with your project, and it kind of ties it all together. So this one is small enough that I might go ahead and just get it framed or frame it myself, possibly, but I haven't decided yet. But that is done. And then the second small finish I have, I cheated a little bit. The Brooks Books Advent Animals Stitch Along starts on November 1st, but I have a good reason. I finished the first one. I couldn't help myself, and I kind of have a good reason, and that is because I was going to the fabric store to purchase my fabrics for backing this stocking and some of the other things that I'm going to show you. And I needed to purchase a fabric to do the back of these. I'm making these into little individual ornaments, and then I'm gonna have my husband build me out of wood a peg board with little pegs to make an advent calendar, so that, you know, from December 1st, each day we can hang the little ornament on its peg and we can count down to the days till Christmas. But in order to do that, I needed a backing fabric. To go on, you know, the back side of my little cushions I'm going to make these into. And so I needed to have one finished on my fabric that I could take with me to the fabric store and choose my backing fabric. So that is my excuse for why I started a little bit early. Really, it's just because I needed something small and I couldn't wait to get started. But hopefully I don't disqualify myself from the stitch along. Hopefully they let me stay. I couldn't help myself, and I really did need to pick a backing fabric. But this is the first one from the Advent Animal series. This is Katie Kitty. Huh. And she's so beautiful. She's really sweet. And those who are doing these will probably notice that I changed the border. Brooke had it charted just kind of back stitching in red and white, swapping back and forth, so it was a very thin, just like thread border in red and white. And I kind of felt like it needed something a little bit more substantial, a little bit weightier to kind of balance. And then since I'm making them into cushions, I just felt like it needed a stronger border. So I just turned that back stitching border into just a cross stitch border. And I just made the width just two X's, two squares, and kept it exactly the way she charted it. I just made it thicker and actually cross stitched it. Everything else is just like it's charted. This was so fun. It took me like a day and a half to whip this up, and so I'm excited because it won't take very long to do each of these individually. So that's my other small finish. So there's my WIP updates and my finishes. Let me show you my haul. I have some things that I bought. I mentioned that I went to the fabric store to get my backing fabric for a number of projects, and I want to show you what I got. Even though it's not cross-stitching stuff, quote unquote, it's to go with my cross-stitch. The first thing is a backing. I needed a backing fabric for this stocking kit that I have not started. This one is Christmas Eve Fun, and I've shown this in a previous video. This is my my stocking kit that's waiting in my stash for a future child. When we have our next child, this will be their stocking. And I already have backing fabric for the one I'm working on now, but I wanted to make sure I had backing fabric that matched this one. And you can see this one's done in a lot of blues. There's like teal blues and purpley blues, and then the snow, and it's just a very blue stocking. And I found this in the Christmas fabric section. It's just a cotton, and it was in the Christmas fabrics, and I don't know if you can tell, but it's just a little bit sparkly, and it looks like swirling snow, and I thought that would just look so nice on the back of that, oh, glare, on the back of that stocking. So that's what I got for that one. and I like it. I think it's pretty and it matches. It was kind of hard to match the blues. There were lots of blue Christmas fabrics, but not the right color blue. And this was like the only one that I found that was the right color blue, and luckily I liked it. I mean, I liked the swirling snow kind of look. But that's the first fabric I got. The second one is for my Brooks Books Advent Animals, and I'll just remind you, that's what it looks like. And this is my backing fabric. It's some candy cane stripes. And just, it's a red and a white, and then like a darker red maroon stripe. And I'll just show you next to Katie Kitty. It's so cute, right? It's adorable. I love it. So I got enough of that for all 25 of the Brooks Books Advent Animals, and like I said, I'll be making those into little cushions that will have a little cord hanger on the top, and I might make a finishing video when I'm ready to do that if you want to see how I do them. But yeah, so I had to buy the fabric for it. Then I have a haul from 123 Stitch / Joann's, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And I just want to show you, this is a combination of a haul and sort of my future plans for the rest of this year, possibly going into next year. I doubt I will get all of these done this year, but I just wanted to show you, I jumped right on board with, what's her name? I can't remember her name. Is it Christine? I don't remember. I don't think it's Christine. The lady who does Plum Street Samplers. I jumped on board when she announced her 12 Days of Christmas freebie, kind of mystery stitch along that she was starting. I jumped on board with it. I'm really excited about it. Just, again, something small and little that can give me a break every once in a while for my stocking, and I would love to stitch that. So I decided to try and stitch from Stash. Since it was a free pattern, I thought, let's see if I have something that I can use. And so I have this piece of fabric. And this piece of fabric is a mystery to me. I think my husband found this at a garage sale a couple of years ago when he bought a sewing basket full of sewing things and buttons and bias tape and lace and all of these kind of sewing notions. This lady was selling in a basket, and in that basket were 2 pieces of this mystery cross stitch fabric, and when it came, someone had already gridded it in 10 by 10 grid, which I know a lot of you like to grid your fabric. I don't like gridding. I don't like having the grid on there, so I pulled it all off, which I'm sure some of you are like, because I know it takes a really long time to grid fabric, but I pulled it all out. And I've been trying to figure out what this fabric is, and I'm going to try and hold it up. There, you can see it. This is the weirdest fabric. It is soft, like an even weave, but it is, the count is very strange. I took my ruler to it, and I think this might be 22 count Aida. Weird, right? I knew they made Aida in higher stitch counts than 18. I think this is 22 count Aida. Let me show you again. Do you see those tiny little squares? There are 22 of them in 1 inch. So you could stitch over 2, I guess, but it'd be like 11 count. Or you stitch over 1 and it's 22 count. It's a very strange piece of fabric. I like it. It's soft. It's a pretty color. It's just like a cream color. So I've decided to use this for my Plum Street Sampler 12 Days of Christmas, and I'm going to stitch 1 over 1 on 22 count. And I just have to show you, I test stitched it with the red that I'm going to use, and it is tiny. These ornaments are literally going to be like 2.5 inches square. It's tiny. This, see that tiny little square right there? That is 4 by 4. That is 16 cross stitches. Do you see how small that is? Let me hold it up to my face. That is 16 X's. And I know some of you who do Heaven and Earth designs, that's like run of the mill for you. That's like typical that you stitch that small of squares. But that is just itty bitty. There you can see. That is 4x4 on what I believe is 22 count Aida. If I'm wrong and you know what this fabric is, please tell me, because I have no clue. But I've decided I'm gonna do it, and I calculated it out. I'm gonna stitch them individually and make them into just little tiny Christmas ornaments, and they are going to be tiny. Guys, they're gonna be like this big, like 2.5 by 2.5 inches. Obviously this is plenty big. This piece is like 20 by 16 or something. Plenty big for those bitty little ornaments, and I'll have lots left over, but I think it's gonna be kind of fun to stitch something that tiny. It might kill my eyeballs. It's probably something I can only stitch in the daytime when I have really good light. 'Cause look at that. It's so small, but anyway. Enough about how tiny that is. So that's the fabric I'm gonna use, and then let me just show you, I picked 2 colors that I had in my stash. The red, I'm gonna use 902, woo, 902. It's a nice burgundy red. And then I'm gonna use 520 for the green. And I just thought these were a nice kind of antique-y Christmas color. I don't know, which seems to fit with Plum Street samplers. They're a little bit more prim. I don't know if you consider them prim, but they're definitely more that direction. And since I'm stitching it so tiny, and I just thought, let's go with kind of the really antique vintage look. So I'm using 902 and 520 as my colors, and then this mysterious tiny fabric that I think is going to be really fun to stitch on. I think this would be fun to stitch some smaller projects, maybe like 2/2 or even 3/2, using it almost like an 11 count Aida. I don't know. I'm gonna have to play with this some more, but I'm gonna stitch all of those on there, and it's gonna be tiny. They're gonna be so cute. Anyway, so that's one future plan. Here's my haul for all of you who are waiting. First, I was feeling the need for some more Halloween in my life. Halloween is next week, and I wanted something Halloween, and I know Prairie Schooler is going to be retiring soon, and I thought, let's do a Prairie Schooler Halloween. They have so many cute ones. And so I got Trick or Treat. It's number 188, Trick or Treat. And that's the big one, and then it comes with these 2 little mini ones on the back. I thought that was really cute, and gotta get the Prairie Schooler things you want now before they go out of business, or I guess they're just retiring. But yeah, and then the fabric, because you know this is how I do stash. If I'm gonna buy something, I buy the fabric and the floss. So that's Prairie Schooler's Trick or Treat, and then the fabric I chose is, I think this is a Jobelin. Yeah, this is a 28 count Jobelin in the color Bone. So it's not a cream and it's not a white. It's a bone color. And I did that because I thought bone is very appropriate for Halloween. Honestly, I was clicking through the colors and I thought, ooh, bone, let's click on see what that looks like. And I was like, oh, I like that. Okay, that's the one. It just seemed appropriate for Halloween. I have my flosses ready for it, and then because I was at Joann's and I was getting backing fabrics, I decided for each of the 3 new patterns I bought 3 patterns on 1, 2, 3 stitch. For each of those I was going to choose a backing fabric so I could make them into a wall hanging, and this is the fabric I chose. And it's a little sparkly, you can see there. It's just orange and black, kind of plaid, and then there's some sparkly orange threads running through it. So I thought, I'll show you next to the pattern, I thought that would be so cute as a backing fabric for that little wall hanging. So that is the first pattern in my little haul, and then I went to Joann's obviously and got the floss and the backing fabric. The second pattern I got on 1, 2, 3 stitch is a design from Imaginating, and the designer, oh here we go, designer is Sandra Cozzolino, and this is called Autumn Blessings. And I got this one because I realized I didn't have any Thanksgiving stitches. I had nothing in my stash, and I had nothing already in my home that was Thanksgiving-y, and I have Halloween and I have Christmas, but nothing in Thanksgiving, and I thought that was kind of an oversight. So I think I got most of these on sale. Well, anyway, this one is Autumn Blessings, and this one was an interesting purchase because if you look at the picture, the colors are kind of blah, in my opinion. The colors are kind of faded and pastel-y looking, and I thought the colors looked more springtimey than Thanksgiving-y, than autumn colors. And so, but I really liked the design. It says, count your blessings and give thanks. And I really liked the design. I just didn't like the colors. So I decided, okay, I'll buy the pattern and then I'll go to the store and I will swap out the colors for things that I like better. And so I did that. First, let me show you the fabric because I ordered the fabric for it at the same time. This is a linen. This is a 28 count linen. It's a casual linen. Oh, antique ivory. I couldn't read it. Antique ivory. It's a nice warm ivory tan color, so it's good for autumn, and it's definitely on the warm spectrum, which if you look at the pattern, the fabric they chose there is really like cool pinky almost, and I just didn't like it. So that's what I got to stitch it on, and then I went to the store and I pulled out all the flosses that it calls for, and look at them. They're beautiful. They're nice and rich and vibrant autumny colors. I know the lighting is not great, and they're in a bag, so there's a little bit of a glare. And I couldn't figure it out, and I realized it's the picture. The picture on this pattern is awful. It makes it not look so nice, and it's actually quite beautiful. I did a floss toss with the flosses it calls for on this antique ivory, and look at that. It's gonna be beautiful and totally Thanksgiving appropriate and very autumn colors. And they need to change the picture on their pattern because it almost made me not want to buy it because the colors were so bad. And I don't know if any of you have ever seen this and thought, ugh, the colors are kind of funky. I don't really like that. They're losing out on business, I'm sure, because the picture is such a bad picture. So, if any of you are interested in Autumn Blessings from Imaginating, don't trust the picture online or actually on the pattern itself. Buy the pattern, buy the flosses, get a fabric that you like, and it's actually very beautiful. I also got a backing fabric for that one at Joann's. Just some beautiful, vibrant autumn leaves, and it's not going to look good next to the pattern because the pattern's totally washed out. But if you look at it with the flosses, I don't know, the colors are not great right now because it's nighttime, and again, I apologize, but that's the backing fabric I got for that one. So that is my new Thanksgiving project that is waiting, and I have a feeling I will probably start that. I don't know. I keep saying I'm not going to have any new starts until my stocking's done, and then I keep doing other things. So never say never. The last thing, this was inspired partly because of Carolyn, and I had been stalking this pattern since it got released, I think last year, and finally decided to just bite the bullet because Carolyn got it and she was working on it, and I just decided I didn't want to wait anymore. But it's 'Twas the Night by Sue Hillis, and it's just beautiful. This is like the epitome of elegant cross stitch. Am I right? I mean, it's just the fonts and then the beautiful, like, I don't know, the ivy and the holly berries, and, or no, those are just holly berries, it's not ivy. The holly berries, and it's just beautiful and so elegant, and I love that poem, and it's so Christmassy, and I just loved it. So the fabric I got, I'm really excited. I stole this idea from Carolyn, although I think I did a little bit different. I got a sparkly fabric like Carolyn did, but I decided to go with a 32 count linen in raw gold. Look at that. It's a gold sparkle with Christmas. Oh, I'm like drooling over it. So it's a raw linen color with the gold sparkle, and I'm just obsessed. I think that's going to be so beautiful. I mean, they have the picture on like an ivory, but that gold sparkle is so elegant, and again, for such an elegant design, seems very appropriate. there's the flosses. I'm so glad that Carolyn talked about this one on her video, because she talked about how the color that they had, the design is originally charted for Sullivan's floss, and in their DMC conversion, she found that the golds they had converted into DMC for this border going around were kind of pale and washed out, and she didn't like them very much. So when I went to the store, I looked and I converted to something else. And so I converted, you needed 2 gold colors, a darker one and a lighter one. And I went with 3820 and 3822. And again, the lighting is terrible here. But just trust me when I say they're much more vibrant. I think they had 676 and 677 charted, the DMCs, which those of us who use DMCs a lot. That's kind of a more pale, subtle gold, and these are a lot more vibrant. So if you are interested in doing this design and you want a more vibrant border, these colors look a lot more like the picture. I have a feeling they're probably closer to the Sullivan's conversion than the ones they had, but these are a newer color, 3822 and 3820. So maybe when they were doing the conversions, they didn't have those colors in their system. I don't know, but those are the ones I decided to use for the border. So I will stitch that on my beautiful sparkly gold fabric, and then the backing fabric, again at Joann's, that I got is this. And it's a beautiful like burgundy red Christmas fabric with a gold holly design on it, and it is like a metallic gold. You can see it's kind of shining. There you go, you can see that. It's beautiful, and it matches so nice. Look at it next to that raw gold fabric. How beautiful is that going to be, guys? I'm so excited. So that's my haul. I got 3 new patterns and the flosses and the fabrics, and then also the backing fabrics to make them into wall hangings, because that's kind of the way I do it. And that's it. I'm really excited. I'm excited to get started on some new things. I really do need to focus on this. So that's going back on my frame, and I should be kind of having that as my primary WIP. The Stitch Along for Brooks Books Advent Animals officially starts on November 1st, so I will be continuing on with those little guys every time I need a break. But yeah, I'm gonna not work on Harry Potter anymore until the stocking is done, and then I have some other things to keep me busy. But there you go, guys. WIP update, finishes, haul. I think that's all I wanted to do in this one, and it's almost a half an hour long. Isn't that just the way it always goes? Let me know if you have any questions or comments, and thanks for subscribing and liking and commenting, and you guys are the best. I'm so impressed with this YouTube floss tube cross stitch community. It's so fun, and I love seeing all of your work, and keep those videos coming, and you guys are great. So I will see you next time.